Here. Oh, what's up, guys? Happy Tuesday. No, it's not Tuesday. What am I saying? Is it Tuesday? It's Wednesday. Close enough. Close enough. Happy Wednesday. It is June 22nd, 2022. We've got 9 games on the MLB main slate to chop up, dissect, get through. Hopefully you guys made it out alive. Anoche, it got crazy. Isaac Paredes. Whoo, that was hard to watch. 3 bombs out of him, 2 off of Nestor Cortez. They're like, Nestor, we're not going to let you pitch against him a third time. Whoa. Bing bong. Yo, right off the bat, 8 game with the baller sub. Appreciate that. Isaac Paredes with a 3rd homer after they take out Nestor Cortez. For those of you guys that are not sure who the heck Isaac Paredes is, he was with the Tigers, and he's actually who the Rays traded Austin Meadows for to get Paredes and I think pick, and then everyone was like, oh, the Tigers got, or the Rays got fleeced, and I was like, man, the Rays usually don't lose trades. So it's kind of funny that Austin Meadows has largely been irrelevant this season with no homers. Then Isaac Paredes gets 3 in a game. I believe that puts him at 8 or 9 on the season to lead all of the Rays in homers. Not that that's a lot, but yeah. Bobby Witt, 2nd in fantasy points yesterday. Nolan Gorman, Carlos Santana with 4 hits, including a homer. Didn't know he could still do that. Matt Olson with 34. Dylan Cease was your top scoring pitcher on the slate. Past that, it got pretty weird. I wish DraftKings would take out these KBO people. Nestor Cortez, a killer. Spencer Strider, a killer. I feel like we did go pretty in depth yesterday to ultimately walk away pretty unsure about Spencer Strider's matchup. I do think he was still fundamentally too cheap on DraftKings. However, his ownership was so high, so I ended up having way more Roansy Contreras than Spencer Strider. It wasn't like Contreras like broke the slate, but he didn't give you negatives, and that was like worth an 18-point swing, I believe. So that worked out pretty doggone well. Hopefully you guys were part of that and made it out alive. What up, Brandon? What up? Steve says I will have no shame in playing Michael Wacha tonight. I'm excited to look into that one. What up, Ayo D? Let me see something. All right, cool. Discord snitching on me. Let's go. Anyway, we've got 9 games, so I usually like to start things off by checking out the weather. So if you guys will humor me, I'll post the link in chat as well. And that is Kevin Ross Roto Grinders weather report's free every day, so why not peep it out? Looks like for this slate, Chicago at Pittsburgh, something to keep an eye on. Says storms should pop over or just a hair south of Pittsburgh a bit before the game and gradually continue to clear farther south. So a late start isn't impossible, but the game will play fully and uninterrupted either way. Cool. Orange yellow for Washington at Baltimore. Just a mess of scattered rain and storms with no real organization to it. First, we have to see if they want to play. Then we'll need to be watching radar closer to first pitch to see if they get lucky with only light showers or if a heavier batch is going to move over them. All outcomes on the table this far out, from a postponement to an uninterrupted game. Well, that'd be interesting. This might be the type of game where even the afternoon update lacks clarity, and we won't really know until 15-30 minutes before pitch, so watch crunch time. It's free. And then Giants at Atlanta, hot winds blowing out to left center at 10. All right, so we do need to let's put a yellow on the weather here, and that's the main weather concern game, it feels like. So if you're taking notes, asterisk that game. What up, Cheyenne? What up, Josh? What up, ACP? Here. And we do have a confirmed Orioles lineup, so we're just gonna dive headfirst into some research. Guys, the music too loud, too low, just fine. I never know, but feel free to speak up if it is a nuisance. We got Austin Hayes in the confirmed leadoff line, or in the confirmed leadoff spot for the lineup. I don't know. Words. Well, I tell you what, this is extra trolly because it's a Patrick Corbin game, right? Every 5 days, he's on my hit list. Do we have outs for this game? Let me see. Drinking a rain today. It's really good. Alright, put that back on the main screen. And let's go Corbin. So I'll tell you what, man, if this rain is... Oh, they didn't give us outs. I was going to say maybe we could still outs on Corbin under, but it's all good. Is it a good level? Alright, cool. Is the Goldschmidt injury concerned you? I saw it was day-to-day. I mean, I guess until he's on the IL, I wouldn't be that worried. But I don't know much about it. I do know I was looking forward to playing him yesterday and did not get that opportunity. I'm gonna always got the beats. Nah, I mean, if you guys ever... so baseball is very boring, right? Especially when one guy's talking to himself for 2 hours. And I realize that, and I know you guys don't want to hear that, or maybe just subconsciously people don't want to hear that. So I was trying to figure out, and the boring lo-fi elevator music that I can't get with that. So I found, I signed up for a thing called Stream Tunes where they added me to a list to get me whitelisted so I don't get copyright struck, and they got like, I don't know, over 100 songs. So if you guys are young content creators out there, none of these beats are like mine. I just have a 100+ track list that's hip hop, and I have it on randomized. So some of these songs I don't like, but yeah. Once again, getting 30% Tigers in early sims. Man, I tell you, the last couple times I got more Tigers than I wanted. It worked out. Javi Baez yesterday keeps clapping lefties. All right, so neither pitcher would be a priority, even if this game didn't have rain concern, but extra non-priority because of the rain concern. So this really just comes down to, are we going to be able to get access to either offense? We're always wanting to pick on Patrick Corbin. Corbin, a 300+ average allowed to righties, over 1.5, or excuse me, over 1.25 homer per night to righties. Just something I want to pick on. And for prop betting, I would also be like looking for these guys for maybe fantasy points and total bases. Austin Hayes in the leadoff spot. I dig that. Trey Mancini, but I haven't seen him in a while. Has he been hurt? 288 average since the beginning of last year against lefties. So there'd be some interesting props to go out there and take. So we just got to keep an eye on the weather. So I'll make some notes. Nationals, Orioles, extreme weather concern with wide range of outcomes. Boom. And I wouldn't be pitching to either pitcher. So let's move forward from that game. If we got the all clear later, I would definitely be interested in stacking really both teams. And I would just like kind of put it in the back end of the script. Since it's the first game at lock, we should be all right in terms of making that decision. Hopefully, you would think, maybe, possibly. Next up, we got the Cubs continuing their series with the Pirates. And are the Pirates still the value stack of the century? Starting to get weird. How 2 weeks ago we started pitching Miles Michaelis against the Pirates, and now they're like the chalk stack of the week. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. But for good reason, man. It's not the same lineup, and a couple of splashes. O'Neal, Cruz, Bly, Madris. Definitely young and hungry bats, and just way too cheap, I think. Neither lineup confirmed here. We got Jared Eichhoff, former Philly great. He was never really great with the Phillies, and I imagine he's not magically great now. Keegan Thompson on the bump for the Cubs. Thompson a 4.17 xFIP to lefties, 4.41 xFIP to righties. Big ground ball guy, 50% ground ball to lefties, 46% ground ball rate to righties, and keeping the hard contact low. He does have a command issue against lefties, so if you give a free pass to a guy like O'Neal Cruz or Bly or Brian Reynolds, especially O'Neal Cruz, they might run on you. But he also has a 25% K rate to lefties, so you can see a couple of ranges outcomes for that. And then the Pirates, yeah, kind of as expected. Only Brian Reynolds eclipses really 3K. I guess Bly Madris is up there, but you still want to play O'Neal Cruz until you can't. 2,700 just seems a little too low for his skill set. Jack Sawinski still dang near min price on DraftKings with a 260 plus ISO. He does strike out quite a bit, but I understand why we would want to get here. And Keegan Thompson certainly is somebody that can get got, and on the road outside of Wrigley, he has had just an 11% K rate. But that's one of those things where I think PNC Park is not going to magically make him, half of the strikeout pitcher that he has been. So, how do we play this game? I don't think I want any Keegan Thompson, but his ground ball rate's at least intriguing. 7,200, I want. But 14 to 20, he got 29 against the Braves. The Braves are number 2 in strikeouts. I don't know. That's a maybe. Pitching isn't that deep today, so we can lower our expectations for what we might take from a pitcher. Is this a scumdacker spot? Play a little bit of both. I feel like it's a maybe. Might put him as a tier 3. 92 pitches in that last outing is his season high, so that's a great sign. 6 innings too. All right, let's put him in a tier 3 for now, just because I think this is a slate where we're gonna get uncomfortable at pitcher. And then Jared Eichhoff. I can't imagine there's any way I'm gonna play Eichhoff, but we'll go see what he's been doing in the minors. What up, Carlos? Pirates went from unplayable to chalk. Dog, we were pitching some weird names against the Pirates a couple weeks ago, right? The minors this year, Eichhoff 4.84 ERA, 47 Ks, 48 innings, so a little less than a strikeout per inning, 108 whip. That's not too bad. The ERA is a little bit of a concern, though. Uh, 21.1 innings against lefties, 18 Ks. He's a fly ball pitcher to lefties with a 1.2 whip. And it looks like his splits tighten up dramatically against righties. 26.2 innings, 29 Ks, sub 200 average allowed, a sub 1 whip. Still a fly ball pitcher, though. And as far as homers go, 5 homers in 21 innings to lefties. That's really bad, guys. And 3 in 26 is still a little bit elevated. Kind of like for like a baseline average, 1 for like 10 innings is what I'm looking for. So for him to have 5 in 21 innings against lefties and 3 in 26, a little bit higher, which is not inconsistent with our historical numbers on him, right? The last 19 innings he pitched, he was getting smoked by lefties. And as well as righties. So it does look like there's a little bit more strikeout potential there, at least based on the last stint that he played in the majors. But it also looks like there's some home run potential. So the lefties that could take advantage of that are kind of underwhelming. Rafi Ortega does have an 830 OPS with a 487 rating in the bomb detector. That's broken. Ian Happ a 200 plus ISO. So there's a couple of paths. James Plays, appreciate this sub, man. Welcome to the channel. And then he is giving up homers to righties in an elevated clip as well. But it's really, I was hoping to get into a lefty that would make me feel great here. So I don't think it's a bad idea to throw Cub stacks in the blender. And we'll add Pirates just because the new look Pirates are at least fun and also very cheap. And yeah, I don't think there's no way I'll get to some Keegan. No Jared Eichhoff. Right? No Jared against righties. If this Cubs lineup came out, so in the projected lineup we got 5 lefties. If for some reason they gave us a curveball and it came down to like 3 or less lefties, a 4K Eichhoff with his strikeout numbers to righties, maybe there's a case. His last couple innings, I mean, this is ultra tournament day, right? 5.2 innings in that last outing. If we could tap into his better righty splits in PNC Park, but if it comes out 4 or 5 lefties like it's projected, then I'm pretty lukewarm to out. But you could split his righty metrics and kind of justify it, you know. Let's get on to the next game. Tigers and the Red Sox. Victor Reyes, Robbie. All right, so I don't have a confirmed Tigers lineup yet. So I've seen a couple of you guys come in here, or at least one of each. I've seen somebody in here say that there's no shame in playing Michael Wacha tonight, and then somebody else said that they got 30% Tiger stacks. So it looks like this could be a swing game, right? The election with the swing stake. This could be a swing game that decides the slate. Red Sox lineup is confirmed. Former Yankee great Rob Refsnyder in the 2 spot behind Jarren Duran. No Rafi Devers in the lineup. Might be just give him a day off against a lefty, or did he get hurt yesterday? I feel like I vaguely remember somebody saying he left the game, but I also could be making this up. And Jeter Downs making his major league debut. Xander Bogaerts. What did I spell wrong here? Bogaerts. I would just retype it. All right, that is a confirmed lineup. Walker versus Skubal. So we know what we're going to get with Skubal. He's been really, really good. This season, he has a 2.94 expected ERA, 26.7% K percentage, and probably the most fascinating change to his game he's picked up 10% on a ground ball rate. Last year, 34%. This year, 44%, and that has dramatically decreased his home run per nine from 2.5 to 0.6. So being able to fix that major bugaboo is huge, and his righty splits in terms of K percentage is actually higher than his lefty splits. And he's only going to get 2 lefties in this lineup, and one of them is Jarren Duran, who does strike out quite a bit anyway. So this is kind of one of those matchups you're never going to feel really, really great about, right? Just Red Sox fundamentally in your head, you're like, I don't really want to pitch against them. But when you look at this slate and you try to put all the pitchers, in order just based on individual talent, Tariq Skubal has earned a spot to be right up there. So even if we're not expecting like that 30 bomb out of him, I do think it's a range outcome to get 20 plus, and 20 plus just might be enough on this slate to give you a chance of being optimal. Last 2 games for him, he saw the righty heavy Toronto Blue Jays lineup, 5 Ks, 4 innings, and then the Rangers got to him 5 innings, 4 Ks. So we'll at least look at those 2 games and make sure that there weren't any like mechanical or at least quantifiable differences in his game, or if there was just back-to-back bad games, because baseball happens. So 13% swinging strike rate against the Rangers, almost 12% against the Blue Jays. Also had almost an 80% first pitch strike rate. So those 2 metrics are fine. If we look at the batted ball data, xFIP was over 5 against Texas, not what you want. 3.5 against Toronto. Could be better, could be worse. And then let's look at pitch type in those 2 games. Make sure the velo was fine. 94.4 against Texas on the fastball. That's his season average, and then about 94 against Toronto. So maybe it was a little bit of bad luck. What's the BABIP in these games? A 412 BABIP, a 545 BABIP in those 2 games, with a 2+ whip. So he was walking Blue Jays hitters, and also what was the ground ball to fly ball rate? He still was keeping balls on the ground. It looks like this Toronto game might have been really unlucky. He had a 67% ground ball rate with a 545 BABIP, and all the other metrics seem to be normal. So I'm just kind of, I feel like it's fair to write that off as unlucky, and baseball being baseball. So we're gonna get to some Scooble tonight. I'm gonna start him off as a tier 2 just based on talent, and it is kind of a less enthralling Red Sox lineup, right? No Rafi Devers, even though it's lefty. Devers is great. No Kike Hernandez, right? There is Trevor Story, there is JD Martinez to get behind, and those two guys do have 4+ ratings in the bomb detector. But like I said, I can take the top off true ceiling necessities tonight instead of expecting 30 to be optimal. I think 20+ just might be enough. So Scooble, because of a shallow pitching player pool and because I think he's good, makes the player pool. If you wanted to get to some hedge Red Sox stacks, I think that's fair. I definitely wouldn't push back on that. And then the curious case of Michael Wacha in Fenway this season, an 18% K rate, a 0.68 homer per nine. That's pretty good in Fenway. 185 average allowed overall. He has a 4.24 expected ERA, so he's dramatically overperforming his underlying metrics, right? A little over 2.25 on the ERA, but a 4.5 Sierra, 4.24 expected ERA, and a 17% K rate. Fenway do be Fenway, and the Tigers do be one of the weakest teams in the league against righties. So I guess I could understand both sides here. I don't have a lot of infatuation with Wacha, but I will say, giving credence to everything we've said about how bad pitching feels, at 6,800, 12+ fantasy points in the SP2 spot, I think you could do worse. So I could maybe nominate this as a Scumdacker spot. This is going to be probably a lefty-heavy lineup from the Tigers with a lot of switchies. A 4.5x to lefties does Michael Wacha have, and he keeps the ball in the air or elevated. So between fly ball and line drive combined, it's almost a 70% off the ground rate. I can understand both sides. So I don't know if I want to get to Michael Wacha just because I don't love the strikeout potential, but I'll get to some Tigers. We'll see. Wacha is going to be like on the fence. If I get desperate, I'll throw him in the back end, but I don't know that I will. Right? Devers has been plunked a bunch lately. What up, Jordan? Definitely interested in 2.1K Riley Green. Yeah, that's very fair. Their top prospect, and I think he was baseball's top prospect after Adley Rutschman got called up. So I think that's very fair. So far, he hasn't hit for any power, but that's, we expect that to come. So we can't put too much credence to this yet. There's a lot of value in bats today. But I certainly think that's a fair assessment. If you want to cherry pick Tigers, go for it. Bo Bichette grand slam early. Dang. Blue Jays got a little salty after yesterday, right? Dylan Cease had their number. My goodness, 7-zip. It's like the Blue Jays are good when they're not facing the Yankees. I don't know. What up, Earth to Air? What up, Josh? Jabari, what do you think of Keegan Thompson K's for his prop? What are we looking at? All right, let me just look at the numbers first. We'll guess a number. 21% K rate. He strikes out lefties a little bit more. This would be a pretty lefty-heavy lineup, but a couple of these lefties are scrappy. So I would say if we give him 90 pitches, 1, 2, I'd probably be looking at 5 or 6. And the line is 4. I could probably sweat the over on that. I think a push is very possible. I don't mind that. I'll make a I'll add it to like the the honorable mention. Keegan Thompson. Let's go capital letters. Thompson, 4Ks. No conviction there, but I could see it. What else did we get on Keegan? Do we feel better about like outs or something? No, 5 hits, 88.5 pitches. Now that's intriguing because he did go to 90 finally. And they might be just looking to get him stretched out. And also 24.5 is interesting. There's a good chance he can outpitch Jared Eichhoff and get a win, maybe a quality start. That's a strong possibility. If I had to lean Jabari, I would lean over for. Scumdacker game for sure. Yeah, Steve, I think both sides make sense. Like, right? This doesn't have to be a one or the other, especially if you guys are managing a portfolio lineups tonight. I think 6,800, even Waka doesn't have to be super sharp to get you 2x that number. And the Tigers at these prices don't have to drop 5 homers to kind of pay off some cherry pick spots. So I don't mind it. I don't know who's available for the Red Sox today out the bullpen, but we could find out. Yesterday they used Ryan Brazier, Tyler Danish, Tanner Houck pitched 2 of the last 3 days, so he's probably not going to be available. Hanzo Robles will probably make an appearance. Jake Diekman's probably available, throwing just 6 pitches last couple days. So there might be some lefties coming out. There's at least 2 lefties I could see being active today. I just got an alert that says now would be a good time to insert ads. The creators earn more money inserting ads the more viewers are watching. I didn't know you could do that. I'm not going to do that though. But one day. We could just roll commercials now? Let me find out. Alright, let's get the next game punched in here. Hot topic game for me, man. Yankees trying to win a series. Guys, anybody been tracking these arbitration cases? Because of the lockout, there's a lot of arbitration cases being settled right now during the season. And I think this morning it was like Max Fried's was the second to last case, and Aaron Judge is the final case on the docket, and he wants 21 mil, and the Yankees only want to give him 17 mil. And as a Yankees fan, I'm just like, why are we not just giving him what he wants? 21 mil, and I get it. It's not for what he's doing this year; it's for what he did like last year. But my God, man, why? It triggers me. We do have a confirmed Rays lineup. And then this morning, Max Fried and the Braves went to court over like 150K or something. Like, it was such a relatively small number for baseball. That these owners just be irking me. This Rays lineup is confirmed. Remember yesterday, Isaac Paredes hit 3 homers against the lefty. I'm sure that's going to increase his numbers quite a bit. Shane Baz, I think this will be his 3rd start since coming back from the IL. He's a big strikeout guy. He's actually another heist that they pulled off. 6 innings against Baltimore, 76 pitches. So been seeing him progress his pitch count. It went 48 to 76, so maybe 85 to 90 is open today. And I do think he's probably going to be one of the best individual strikeout pitchers on the slate. But we'll see how this Yankees lineup kind of shakes out. So far in the major leagues, his numbers against righties have been dramatically better than lefties. Against lefties this season and last year combined, a 4+ xFIP. But keep in mind we're dealing with 20, about 20, 21, 22 innings. So the righty splits, though, over a 30% K rate and then a 12% swing and strike rate. So for this season, 16% last year. So a lot of strikeout potential in him, and his pitch count could be going up. So do we have mispriced lines? 5Ks for Baz. I think that's very intriguing. 80.5 pitches, also pretty intriguing. since he just went 76, and usually want to give him a plus 10, plus 15. However, he was extremely efficient in those, so it kind of got like a Tony Gonsolin situation going on, where I don't know if Kevin Cash and the Rays, what's more important, pitch count up or 6 innings. Like, I feel like they don't want him going past 6 innings, even if he's at, I don't know, 70 pitches. But I don't really know what the plan is. But I do know that Shane Baz in big tournaments is probably worth having. AK, definitely a strikeout per inning or better kind of guy. And depending on this Yankees lineup, there are some strikeouts to be had. Judgy, Stanton, Matt Carpenter, maybe Joey Gallo, all in the lineup with some potential strikeouts to offer. I don't know. Let's see. I wonder why they have Carpenter in the projected lineup. I guess I don't know. I don't know. I would imagine it would be... maybe it is. Maybe they are trying to throw a couple extra lefties. We'll see what that comes out as. But with that said, I do think Shane Baz is worth having a share or two of in the Tier 3. I tend to never expect high offensive games in this Tropicana. Both teams implied for under 4, Yankees 3.9. But me personally, I will always have some Yankee stacks. So don't do as I do, do as I say. But no, if you think a Judge Field Yankees lineup is worth getting to, I wouldn't talk you off of it, but I just tend to stack them because I'm a biased Yankee fan. And then yesterday, Isaac Paredes showed a little bit of oomph. He's kind of locked in. I'm surprised they moved him down to the 5 spot after he batted second yesterday and went bananas. I just feel like, sometimes in baseball, they just let the hot hand be hot and teams will maybe over-respect them, but they moved him back to the 5 spot. So, yeah, cool. Jordan Montgomery, 17% K rate to righties, a 50% ground ball rate. Doesn't really give up the bomb. It's either in and outside of Yankee Stadium. He's been holding a 0.86 home run per 9. So, just kind of unflattering strikeout stuff, but at 7,400, could he get us that 15, 14, 16 fantasy points? I definitely think so. And on the season, the Rays, they don't strike out very much against lefties, but they don't hit with a lot of power either. 131 team ISO against lefties, so I can understand a couple of shares of Jordan Montgomery tonight, and I think I will get there. And maybe they let him go 6 and 7 again. He's given us 6 innings straight in 4 or 5 games straight. So yeah. That extra inning, that extra +4 maybe for the dub, I'm there. So let's put Jordan Montgomery as another Tier 3. Pitching is not comfortable today. What up, Renza? Braves ownership still counting pennies despite the U.S. government eliminating pennies next year. I didn't know that, but that's interesting. But yeah, I feel like my entire lifetime, I've always heard that it costs more to make a penny than the value of a penny. So then it was just like, why do we have pennies? Well, no longer. Is that a thing? Speaking of the Braves. By the way, what is Jordan Montgomery anything right now? 4.5 Ks, 33.5 fantasy points, 17.5 outs. 17.5 outs is interesting. So my favorite, my most hated line in baseball pitching outs is 18, because 18 is just 6 innings, and a lot of times if a pitcher will give you 6, you go out there and get them. The 17.5 is interesting because, like we said, he has been going 6 innings. And then because the Rays don't strike out that much, it's actually a plus for those outs, because as long as Gumby's not, nibbling around the corners, you pitch the contact, get those ground balls, you can get to that 6th inning. So 6th inning or 18 outs or better in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 straight games. I would kind of be interested in that. So let's put that as an honorable mention. Jordan Montgomery over 17.5 outs. All right, now let's type up this Giants game. Both of these lineups are confirmed. That's good. Former Yankee great Tyro Estrada. Carlos Rodon. Braves against the lefty. Ronald Acuna. Hold me closer. Time to dance, baby. Marcelo Zuna. Matt Olson. William Contreras. Orlando Arcia. Adam Duvall. Phil Gosselin. Wasn't he on the Phillies? And Michael Harris the second. Charlie Morton. All right. Both lineups confirmed. And Rodon, really, really good. The Braves strike out a decent bit, but this is the ultimate fire and ice matchup. A 24% carry rate to lefties. But boy, oh boy, when they hit them. 484 slugging, team OPS of 821, 221 ISO, and a 126 WRC+. plus. No Ozzie Albies. He's going to be gone for a while. But this is still a pretty strong lineup. So this is probably a little scumdacker spot. I probably get a little bit more Rodon just because, but I think both sides are very much in play. And then the Giants, I like the Giants quite a bit as well. Charlie Morton has been striking out lefties the last couple years at an elevated clip. There are more lefties than righties in this Giants lineup. So man, this is the yesterday I thought that the White Sox Blue Jays game was the scumdacker game of the day. I think this is the scumdacker game of the day. I probably have a little bit more Rodon than Braves and a little bit more Giants than Morton, but I understand literally every angle here. Against righties, just a 23% K rate for Morton with a 246 average allowed, and his swing and strike rate 11%. The whip is elevated because of his 11% walk rate to lefties, and that was something that spooked us yesterday with Spencer Strider, was that he can lose the zone, lose command, and on top of his walk problems, he also has a 1.8 homer per nine so far to lefties, and that's parlayed with a 29% line drive rate and a 45% fly ball rate. So a couple of these lefties a little harder to strike out. Luis Gonzalez at just a 19% K rate. Even Jock, right, a little bit scrappy. And he actually gets cheered in this crowd. So Brandon Belt strikeout rate is a lot higher than yesteryear, and Yastrzemski's still there as well. So scumdacker special, right? Let's Braves, Giants, and if we had to isolate somebody for a homer, Brandon Belt has a 4+ rating in the bomb detector. And we can go look at the pitch report on Morton. I think he was still a big curveball guy, but I could be wrong. Yeah, 36% curveball. Negatively graded at 81 miles an hour. And Darren Ruff grades out. Darren Ruff? Wow, Darren Ruff in a lineup on a righty. All right, cool. Brandon Belt kills the curveball. So Belt to have a positive rating against, or a 4+ rating in the bomb detector and a huge rating against the curveball, that's a really, really scary thing to get behind or get up past if you want to play some Charlie Morton. Uncle Charlie. Let's put Morton as a 3, and I'm willing to go 2 on Rodon for now. Like I said, there's not going to be a single pitcher I think we end up feeling great about. I could be wrong. Maybe in the back. Oh, maybe Ohtani. Maybe. Can we get Gundecker coverage of Summer League? Man, I tell you what. Usually I don't cover like niche stuff like that because I'm just so busy. I do basically everything at Run DFS. I run like I do and fund and feed with projections and stuff like that, but Josh is a basketball nerd, so he might be game to help me run some summer league content, and if so, I'd do it. I gotta talk to him about that though, but Josh loves the game of basketball, man. Fangraph says Montgomery at 5.9 innings, 457 Ks, 552 points. All right, that's close enough for the 5.9 innings. It's kind of weird how they do that, right? But that's still a chip in a chair for the 18 outs, so I like that. I'll take 15Ks or 15 DraftKings points too. But yeah, we might do some summer league if Josh is game. I always need help for extra stuff, right? Baseball, like I do the front end baseball, NFL, and basketball, and that is pretty exhausting. And but as we're growing, I'm trying to grow the team a little bit. So Josh has been just a huge pickup. All right, next game. The Guardians and the Twins. Man, the Twins kind of let me down yesterday, if we're being honest. They were my single entry stack, and I don't think I got a single homer out of them. And I ran it with the Ohtani one off, and I get 40 out of Ohtani and still don't even like sniff the cash line in single entry. It's upsetting. So they owe me. When does Summer League start? And I guess we have to see if they offer props on it, because that's where Josh really lives right now. It's the prop world. I would imagine they offer props because they do props for freaking everything. McKenzie versus Sonny Gray. Neither lineup confirmed. McKenzie high xFIP, but high strikeout potential. 25% K rate to lefties. A 21% K rate to righties. Maybe expect some positive regression in that department, because the last couple of years he's been striking out righties at a crazy clip, 28 and 40%. So maybe that'll start coming up. But it's pretty scary to have a 54% fly ball rate out there in Minnesota. It looks like wind is still blowing out to center. Not as bad as it was yesterday. It's still mid 80 degree temperatures. So certainly one of those couple of ranges of outcome scenarios. A 1.43 home run per 9 to righties so far, 1.38. So if you get past the strikeout, you definitely have a good chance to put the ball over the fence. We got Buxton with a 330 plus ISO against righties. He's going to have a 4.4 rating on the bomb detector. He was tops on it yesterday. Maybe we get back to the well. Correa also pushing near 4. Gary Sanchez up there as well. Gary, I think, is the most scary one because he will strike out 28% of the time since the beginning of last year against righties. But it's still a solid matchup. And if you go look at that pitch report, Tristan McKenzie's going to throw a lot of fastball, a little slider, a little curveball, and Buxton kills every one of those pitches. So we do like Buxton, willing to be at the slot machine on him. Punch another quarter on that one. And the Twins have an implied run total about 5. The Guardians against Sonny Gray. Sonny Gray's been really good. He's got a 28% K rate this season. Barrel rate's at 8%. That's like double what it has been the last 2 years. But we might expect that to go down. The Guardians do have some pesky hitters, especially guys that are harder to strike out. Only Franmil Reyes, Andres Jimenez, and Austin Hedges have 20+% K rates in this lineup. But outside of Jose Ramirez and Josh Naylor, the power is pretty quiet. So maybe we get kind of like a Montgomery spot where Sonny Gray can tap into his ground ball rate to righties at 55%, and then the low hard contact rate to lefties and 28% K rate. Maybe he has a little bit more of an efficient game because of guys putting the ball in play. So looking at his props, we got him at 4 strikeouts. That's kind of low, but I get it. And I was hoping to maybe get an out prop, but we don't have that. We have John Gray. So this feels like two more pitchers we put in the blender, bro. I really hate how bad, I don't say how bad, but how uncertain pitcher feels tonight. Does anybody else share this? So let's go, because I feel like I'm going to add John Gray, and oh my God, bro. We're going to have to really do some sweep, resweep. This might be my most diverse pitching pool of the year. With that said, I am going to get some twin stacks nominated. And then I'll say I'll put Guardians here. But there's a good chance with the Guardians I don't 5-man stack. I could just get to like Jose Ramirez and one or two others, so it would be like a sub stack. Ramirez and Josh Naylor would be the two most intriguing ones for me. But Stephen Kwan, if he leads off again, really good on base guy, and we saw that yesterday. So at this price, especially $100 above min price on Fanduel, maybe a cheap guy to get a run and a couple of trips around the bases. But yeah, the Guardians are usually a one or two trick pony for me. So yeah, but I'll stack Twins for sure. What up, Josh Basso? July 17th? Oh, okay, so we got time. And the MLB All-Star break is like in a couple weeks, right? It's usually in the second week of July. July 19th is so it actually starts during the All-Star break. So that's actually kind of convenient if me and Josh did put our heads together for that. So maybe. And heck, there might even be some large prize pools for DFS because it'll be the only show in town, right? There's nothing else going on, right? Maybe WNBA. I don't know. What up, Jim? I'm playing 12 double ups, and I would like to know what are your best stacks today. I have Atlanta, Giants, Pittsburgh, Angels, and Brewers. For double ups, so you're looking for high floor stacks. Man, I do like the Twins so far, but I'm still working on kind of grinding out all of that. So far, like all these stacks I put in here, I haven't felt like the warm and fuzzies on any pitchers, any stacks. It's a very scumdacker slate so far, but I do think the Twins have a lot of upside based on everything we've talked about so far. It's just McKenzie's strikeout rate is a problem, but past that, man, if you put the ball in play, there's a good chance you make it happen, Captain. Buxton 0 for 4 yesterday, which means we're going. Yo, can we talk about the Twins yesterday? I'm gonna put Aaron Savali's stats in the spreadsheet. Savali went into on the season. He has a 22% K rate with a 9.7% swing and strike rate. I felt like he was striking everyone out to start yesterday's game. It was so tilting. He ended with 7 strikeouts. If you would have put that line at 7 Ks and told me pitch 80 pitches, I would have put the whole PayPal account on the under, bro. So the Twins got to lock in today. We can't be letting that happen. So it would be hashtag DFS for Savali to get 7 Ks and then the strikeout guy McKenzie to not. I don't know. There was decent pulls last year. All right, cool. Rinpack dominated. Yeah, Rinpack is. Every time somebody brings up his name, I say the same thing. That dude is so smart, and he's like nice. What up, Justin? What's your favorite play tonight, Gun? Are you talking about for DFS or for props or whatever? So far, this has not been a strong conviction slate for me. But I feel confident that like I'm gonna come up with a couple of props that I can live with. I kind of like the Montgomery 17.5 outs over. Royals gonna light Ohtani up. Hey man, it might. He bleeds red too. Let's get the Cardinals game punched in. Cardinals against Eric Lauer. Now we're talking, right? You get this righty heavy lineup. Did anybody see an update on Goldie? Sorry, I just got an alert on my phone. I know he didn't he wasn't in the lineup yesterday, and I think the other day he switched from like first base to DH. I don't know. I guess we can look at his player card here in a second and get to the bottom of that. So, I was so used to typing Adam Wainwright the way it is. And then there's a basketball player named Ish Wainwright. And he doesn't have the W. If you guys remember him, I think he was on the Suns. and I used to type Wainwright like Adam Wainwright, and I don't know, this is kind of like a dumb thing, but I got so used to typing it without the W. Now every time I type Adam Wainwright, I forget the W. I just wanted to share that. Feel my pain. All right, Eric Lauer versus Adam Wainwright. So Lauer had that spike earlier this season. He's still kind of holding on to a 1-4 plus K rate, 25.3% overall, with a 4.41 expected ERA and 11% barrel rate. That's scary, and this lineup is scary. Should it come out as projected? Let me see if we can get an update on Goldie and his day-to-day tag. 34-year-old had a blah, 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 blah. Said that he's dealing with back tightness. Doesn't appear to be a significant injury since manager Oliver Marmol labeled Goldie's absence as precautionary measure, so the veteran slugger should be considered day-to-day. So if Goldie's in the lineup, this is a very, very scary lineup against any lefty, but especially one with a barrel rate problem, right? He also walks lefties at a high clip. Doesn't look like there's any lefties in the projected lineup, so we can really isolate on his righty splits, which is a lot of line drives, a lot of fly balls, and a 1.8 home run per 9 out there in American Family Field. So we would be stacking Cardinals. Even if Goldie wasn't in the lineup, I'd still be on a Cardinal stack. But remember, just like yesterday, you know, we were in on picking on Chichi Gonzalez, and Chichi didn't go that deep, and they can cut the game in half with the bullpen. Chichi went 4 innings yesterday, 73 pitches. So if Lauer struggled, you'd probably see more of the same. But this is still a pretty talented Cardinals team, and really good against lefties. So you just really need one at-bat to cash in. And Goldie this season, really since the beginning of last year, almost a 380 average against lefties. That's so dumb. 314 ISO. So assuming that he's in the lineup, him and Arenado could go back-to-back like the cover of Lethal Weapon. And do we have a home run triangle that involves Goldie and Arenado on PrizePicks? Total home runs, we get nothing. We don't have one. Maybe they'll add one later. Yeah, no. Also, the Red Sox triangle has Rafi Devers in it. Hopefully they fix that, but just be advised, if you do take that, it'll get voided. Everybody in the triangle or the square have to be in the starting lineup. It sucks. What up, Skimmer? Liking Monty at 17.5 too. I really think Wheeler will go off tonight. I can get behind both of those statements. So we'll stack some Cardinals. Brewers against Adam Wainwright. So Wainwright just a 18.5% K rate on the season. He's pitching purely to contact. Because of that, he's kind of carved out an identity where I never really want to play him because I never really see the upside outside of maybe quality scoring. Yeah, I'll ride that ride. And on this slate, as diverse as my pitching pool already is, I don't know that I'm getting a lot of upside here or at least a floor versus upside that I need to go out there and get. So I feel like Adam Wainwright's going to be expendable. 10, 17, 5, 34 against San Diego. That's kind of like the ultimate outcome. 115 pitches. He had 10 strikeouts. Like, that's so rare. He may not have another, and I mean this with respect, he may not ever have another 10 strikeout game. Just the type of pitcher he is. So, I don't think I'm going to get to Wainwright here. And Lauer the same. I don't think I'd take the risk. I'm already overflowing my tier 3. And I still want to put like Sonny Gray and Tristan McKenzie in the blender. So I think I'll fade both pitchers here, unless either lineup comes out severely different than the projected. So because I'm fading that, I'll also probably get a share or two of the Brewers. Just because if you're a contact pitcher, like you saw the spike games with the 400, 500 BABIP, that could happen for the Brewers too. So we probably get the Brew Crew mixed in there, but it's like a single digit stack. the likeliest outcome is a bunch of ground balls and quick game, right? For the Brewers and Wainwright. But even if that does happen, it doesn't mean that Wainwright's putting up a must-have score. What up, Josh? Hey, what am I drinking? Today we are drinking Rain. I think my problem in life is my energy drinks. Bang and Rain. Basically any energy drink that has 0 sugar
Take a ride.
is what I drink. So this one has 10 calories, no sugar, with 300 milligrams of caffeine. That's usually the bar for me. All right, let's skip this one. This song's weird. There we go. All right, only 2 games left. I feel like I do a little bit more prop shopping. I haven't made a list, but I haven't really found spots that I just love here. This is like one of the most scumdacker slates of all time. Jesse Winker. Probably just have to start trusting some of the projections and the numbers and let it roll. But I also pick my battles. What you drinking on, chat? Josh, what you sipping on? Anybody else share the energy drink addiction? Also like a good cup of coffee, but I haven't had a good cup in a while because I suck at making it. Last 2 nights I've been making coffee, when I get on Fortnite or whatever. And the new coffee pot I got, I feel like it doesn't make the coffee hot enough. I don't know how to explain that, but it just doesn't feel right. All right, neither line to confirm. George Kirby taking on Paul Blackburn. Blackburn a 17% K rate this season, overperforming Sierra and expected ERA, but much like some of these other pitchers, he's by design a big ground ball guy. He's going to pitch to contact, 58% ground ball rate to righties. Against lefties, the line drive rate's elevated, and that's something we saw happen last year. So because of that, the average allowed is elevated. So maybe JP Crawford, Jesse Winker, those type of guys can get you a couple hits here, but generally speaking, Blackburn's going to keep the ball in the park because he holds a sub 28% aggregate hard contact rate, and it's already hard enough to hit bombs out of Oakland anyway. So that's kind of a wash for me, where we might go after the Mariners for a couple hits here, but it's hard to project them for a lot of power, and power is really what we're looking for in tournaments. But maybe for prop betting, we can get over half a base or fantasy points, or even 1.5 bases. And then Kirby on the bump for the Mariners, 20% K rate to righties so far this season, 25% K rate to lefties. He might have room to improve on that K rate. We'll do a little digging into his minor league acumen as a refresher. I got him at season long, and I wouldn't have just picked him up for no reason, right? Whoa. Trizoa. Have a membership to Costco for that reason. Bro, I definitely try to buy in bulk. This last week I bought Bang. I used to get Bang at $1.99, and the last Sunday or Saturday I bought a bunch. It was like $3.20. It's like, man, inflation is real. Working nice. Just woke up 30 minutes ago. What's up, Chris? Good morning. Hey, Chris, I only got like a 2-hour head start on you, bro. I don't wake up early either. Kirby minor league numbers, 24 innings, 32 Ks. Let me go split that. Yankees lineup is out. All right, cool. How do you feel about Upton for Seattle? There's really, I can't imagine. I don't really think there's a reason to like him, especially. You know what I mean? 200 average to righty since the beginning of last year, 30% K rate. Blackburn, 58% ground ball rate. There's really, there's no mathematical reason for me to feel great about him, Jim. But if you got that feeling in your bad knee, I'm not gonna talk you down. 15.1 innings against righties, 20 Ks. So definitely some room to come up on that 20% K rate to righties. So at 6,600, I'm okay with getting to Kirby, and this is a really bad Athletics lineup. Do we get like maybe a soft Kirby? Well, first of all, let's know what we're dealing with. Kirby's pitch count 97, 90. Oh, that's great. That's what you want. So 6Ks. If you give me 5.5 or better, I'll take the over. What do you got for me, PrizePicks? We're doing it. George Kirby over 4.5 Ks. Actually, let me make sure that I'm not looking at the wrong date. 6/16. 6 days rest. I'm gonna take the strikeouts on Kirby, boys. This projected lineup, you give me Seth Brown, Laureano, heck, Lowry, Bethancourt, Murphy, all over 1 and 5. Christian Pache. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna take the over. I'll sweat the over 4.5 Ks. Now, Oakland can actually be bad for strikeouts. I know we think of this as a super pitcher's park, but they have such a big foul ground territory that like those fouls that are strike twos and strikes elsewhere can actually get caught and rob you of strikeouts. So maybe it's a little too good to be true, but I don't know. 24 pack of Angus, $28 at Costco. What? I do be ordering a lot of, so I do all my grocery shopping off of either Instacart or DoorDash, so I'm probably paying extra anyway, but yeah. Cold brew coffee in the afternoon for moi. I have, I kind of have something like cold brew coffee. Sometimes I'll make a coffee smoothie, and I use like this milk-looking cold brew. Shark says, I randomly wanted some panda beef, broccoli, and shrimp. No shrimp for me, man. I'm allergic. You drinking Bustelo? That's what's up, Josh. I don't know what that is. Is that alcohol? Or is that a Spanish delicacy? Bustelo. Oh, it's coffee. I am assuming it just auto-filled that for me. Oh, that's cool. That's what's up, Josh. Vibrant, authentic Latin flavor. Okay. Cool. Kirby underpriced and underowned. Yeah, I agree with that. I think 6,600 is too cheap. So we're gonna add Kirby to the tier 2, I think. He actually will probably be my single entry pitcher. The more I'm looking at this at that price point, like the Athletics is like the lineup I fear the least tonight. And I'm believing in some positive or some progression for his strikeout numbers. Matter of fact, let me look at the last couple games to see if he's trending up or down in terms of strikeouts. %, 9. So Boston, Texas, All right, so he's not really trending any which way. Seem like me as far as not wanting to ever leave the house, man. It's just time is so valuable, bro. If somebody else can get their hustle on by going to get my groceries, I'm a fat tipper, and I just don't like dealing with the world sometimes. And I live in a pretty dangerous area, and I kind of stick out in the crowd, so I just let the world have it. All right, what else we got? We got the main event, the cover boy. I'm thinking Ohtani and Kirby's probably going to be my single entry combo for pitchers. Also, there's a lot of I'm not scared, but yeah, I live in a dangerous area. We've probably got. I'm not. You guys can look this up, man. There's probably been 14, 15 homicides, and it's the 6th month of the year. And I believe most of you guys know that a couple, or in my 20s, I spent half a decade working in corrections. I was a sergeant for the Texas Department of Criminal Justice. You just never know who you're going to run into that might remember you from the block and you have to enforce some rules. You know what I'm saying? So I'm too laid back these days, man. I like to just vibe out, watch my sports, love my family, and watch some Yankees. So I tend to not go out too much, but every now and then I'll hit up a wrestling show. But because of that, like I mentioned yesterday, man, I've been looking to relocate to a one, safer environment, and two, just like not 100 degrees for 5 months of the year. And I don't know, I had my eyes on Vancouver, British Columbia, bro. But I'm still doing some research. I've also been looking at like Colorado and stuff like that. I would like a place where I can legally sports bet. That would be a huge plus. And then another place where I could go outside with my kid and not get shot. That's also a good thing. All right, main event tonight is the Angels hosting the Royals. Daniel Lynch up against Shohei Ohtani. Ohtani with what could have been an epic double dong last night to lead the Angels to a dubski. It didn't actually go that way, but today 8,500, man. I don't know what Ohtani has to do to not be an AK pitcher, but it feels like they always put him at AK. And I'm not complaining because I'm going to play him, but it just always inflates ownership, right? Like if he's 10K, maybe there's a little bit more resistance, a little bit more pushback. But that has been the case. So let's look at the last couple of pitching games. Waco rough. Yeah, Waco's rough. From Baltimore. I mean, hey, Baltimore, hey, I definitely ain't trying to say my set's more dangerous than y'all set. I get it. I'm just saying, like, it's just kind of sad for anybody to live in a city that they actually have to legitimately worry about catching a stray bullet. You know what I mean? We've had a couple this year alone where kids are getting accidentally shot. It's heartbreaking. And I just want to, I don't know, I just want to get in my state, just like, you guys know, man, I don't want to make it political. You guys know Texas is just like you get a gun, everyone has guns, bro. I hate it. 3.59 xFIP against Seattle, 3.52 against Boston. Struggled against the Yankees. Yeah, he wasn't ready for the big lights, but other than that, really, really good. Less than a strikeout per inning against Boston, but overall, I'm okay with the results. I still think he's a good pitcher. So I think Shohei Ohtani is just like too good, and the Royals do strike out a decent clip in this projected lane 3 through 7. Over a 20% K rate collectively, and then I'm not expecting a ton of power here. I know they've had some big games in the last 2 nights, but you know, Syndergaard's not Ohtani and so on and so forth. So I think at 8,500, it's going to be hard to not get to Ohtani at a big clip. A 31% K rate with a 3.17 expected ERA, 2.86 Sierra at 8,500. When I don't feel great about any pitcher, like unfortunately, it just feels like he's gonna get all the check boxes. So probably gonna tier 1 that, and then we do kind of nerf the Angel stack for DFS because we can't really play Ohtani's bat. So you're just looking at maybe a sub stack for me: Trout, Ward, maybe a Jared Walsh if it happens the right way. Daniel Lynch, a 1.5 homer per 92 righties, 282 average allowed. So definitely worth picking on. I just hate that you take Ohtani out the mix, you know. Here, what up, Mighty Saint? Austin Haysbaum, I can see that. Pirates line up in, Cruz leading off. That's gonna be big for ownership. Colorado says, I lived in Colorado for 20 years. Absolutely beautiful place to live, just too expensive. That's kind of what I was like. I've been researching these spots, you know, looking at cost of living, and that's the vibe I got. Colorado's expensive, but I guess the plus side for this area is so cheap to live. You guys would probably be shocked if you knew how cheap it is to live here. But man, sometimes you just gotta enjoy the outside too. If you want a big crib, though, I want to move back so bad, but I hate Texas. Yeah, Texas. I don't hate Texas. There's some great people, but it's just really freaking hot, and there's a lot to that. Like Angels, Luis Rengifo. Again, kind of like Upton, Jim. There's not really a reason to be there other than a gut call. It has relatively no power against lefties since the beginning of last year. Sub 100 ISO. So it's really like mathematically, there's no reason to be there. Ohtani for cash, you got really different to get off that ownership. Yeah, but I don't know. I wouldn't sweat it too much. I think right now if I built a single entry lineup, my pitchers would be Ohtani and George Kirby is what I'm thinking. South Dakota. My Danny was from South Dakota and Minnesota. I went to Minnesota a couple years ago. I didn't hate it, but I don't know if I'd want to live there. All right, so we did get a Yankees lineup. I do a little plug here. If you guys, first of all, there's a link in the description below that'll get you into the free Discord. You jump in that free Discord, look at all the different channels, but at the top we have the exclusive offers channel. So if you guys are not on PrizePicks or Underdog, and if you want to sign up for the upcoming season or get some baseball action, use the links in those channels, and they will double your first deposit up to $100. Or if you don't use the links but you do sign up like on your phone, just type my name in the promo code, and they will match your first deposit up to $100. They also support the channel every time somebody does that. And then also if you're gonna go catch a game or something like that, or a concert, wherever you might be, use the SeatGeek app. And if you've never used the SeatGeek app before, you can get $20 off of your purchase by using code GUNDACKER. So that also supports me. So a couple of ways to support the channel, support the daily streams. Yeah. So let's go punch in the Yankees lineup and also the Pirates lineup. Iowa. I drove through Iowa. It was the highway I drove on wasn't much. I don't know if I missed out, but it seemed like a lot of cornfields. All right, actually we had a couple lineups, so we'll get tidied up. Cubs are leading off Rafi Ortega. Wilson Contreras, Patrick Wisdom with the day late bomb yesterday. Jonathan VR in the 6th spot. Nico Horner, Hayward, Alfonso Rivas. Cubs lineup, green light. Pirates lineup, O'Neal Cruz, bro. This might be the highest on play on the slate now, right? Leading off at 2.7K on both sides. Fast, he's a beast. He hits the ball hard. One of the top prospects in baseball. A lot of opportunity. Also, Bly Madris, a really good couple of days for him. Don't sleep on him getting a lineup boost the first inning. Good correlation to O'Neal Cruz. Has 4 hits in his 2 games in the big league so far. A bomb to boot. And I know we've kind of spoke highly on O'Neal Cruz. Did a little bit of research on him. But if you look at Bly Madris in the minors this year, he was batting over 300 with a 900 plus OPS, 5 bombs and 158 at bats, 2 stolen bases. So yeah, he's a great correlation to O'Neal Cruz, and he's also way too cheap on Fanduel, literally min priced, and 3,600 on DK. So as if the Pirates weren't trendy enough with these guys batting like 6th and 7th, they get that much more interesting with a little bit more. At least one more implied at bat in the first, in the top 3. Diego Castillo, Michael Perez homered yesterday. Boy, there were some random homers yesterday. Figured there would be, right? Daniel Vogelback. I'm typing that one wrong, right? There we go. All right, cool. Yeah, this lineup falls off a cliff, but top 4 is at least intriguing. So they become easier to stack, I guess. 1 through 4. So you could probably stack them without having to get too crazy. Yeah. Tigers lineup came out. We got Victor Reyes. We got Riley Green batting 2nd, bro. It's the day of the prospects. So he went from projected 5th to batting 2nd. So maybe an extra implied at bat, but definitely a first inning at bat. So that feels good. Javi Baez behind him. Maybe it doesn't feel as great, but hey, why not? It's a low K pitcher. Harold Castro, Robbie Grossman, Spencer Torkelson, Jonathan Scope, and Tucker Barnhart. Yankees are going to throw out DJ, Judgy, Rizzo, Stanton, Josh Donaldson, Matt Carpenter, IKF, Jose Trevino batting 8th, and then Joey Gallo batting 9th. So no Aaron Hicks in the lineup. And also no Gleyber Torres, so Gleyber might be the guy off the bench later. Although it did look like he got hurt in like the 8th or 9th inning, but Booney no-sold it. So that's your rest rotation. Anything else that I'm missing that came out? The Brewers lineup. Did we have that one already? No, all right. Yelly, Arias is batting second. Rowdy. Cutchin, Renfroe, Omar Narvaez, Custon Hira getting a shot against a righty. Jason Base and Tyrone Taylor. And that's it. Alright, what you guys got, chat? Anything? We got time. I don't need to kick us out or nothing. Willie Adamas is out. Alright, cool. 2 of the highest projected stacks have risk of rain. Are we concerned? Definitely. We are definitely concerned, but I guess what I would say is at least that's the first game on the slate. So hopefully we have the information we need to make the best decision possible. So we just got to play it the right way, right? But if that was like a middle of the slate game, I'd be a little bit more worried. Live in a city with all immunities. That being said, 70 miles of corn in all directions out of town. It's crazy. If you lived in South Dakota and Iowa, you probably don't want to live where Gunn lives. I mean, it's peaceful out there. I also say one of the things, like, as much as I love country living, and remember, I'm from New York, guys. I'm from Staten Island. I've lived in Philly, lived in Atlanta. I've lived in some cities. I lived in Dallas. I live in cities. I do prefer the country living. But as a gamer and as a streamer, gotta have good internet, and that's not always easy to find out in the sticks. So I wish they would, make that a little easier to obtain in a rural location. So I'm kind of on the outskirts of town, but I get 1 gig internet, so it works out. Currently living in Atlanta. That's what's up. When I was a youngster, I lived in Atlanta out of like a motor lodge, and my mom and stepdad at the time worked at a Waffle House, which was basically the second headquarters for WCW wrestling, and that's what planted the wrestling bug in me. Wrestlers would always be at the motor lodge. I remember for some reason Junkyard Dog took a liking to me, and we were like friends, and I was a youngster. I didn't understand who he was or truly appreciate who he was until later. And then ever since then, I just kind of been into wrestling, and I wrestle for a little bit. 100 degrees is hot, but if you can avoid snow, I'm all for it. I don't mind snow as much. I don't like it when it's like iced over as well, but like I'm just looking. I like San Diego would be perfect, like temperature wise all year. And I don't even hate like 100 degrees for a little bit, but not for like 3 months, man. It's rough. Got Google Fiber in KC. I mean, it's down here too. I don't know. All right, let's sort the bomb detector. See what we're working with. By the way, chat, we did launch the end of year pass on rundfs.com. So I think it's a pretty solid deal. This will get you the rest of 2022. So that'll get you almost all of football. Not all of it, but almost, right? You get the full football season-ish without the first, couple weeks of January. You get the start of basketball, the rest of baseball, the Discord, all that stuff. So I guess if you would say $70 a month for 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, that's 6 months. So you probably save $150, something like that. So it's $300 for the rest of the year. And then on top of that, you get a $100 credit towards Fantasy Cruncher. So you can rebate that down to $199. So that did drop because a lot of people are coming off of their NBA season pass. So if you're looking to bulk buy, that is up there at rundfs.com. When you do upgrade, click VIP portal. There's going to be a link to the baseball spreadsheet, and then also a link to the rundfs.com VIP Discord. And typically every day, other than Sunday, if I can't get any other day off on the week, I usually take Sunday off. I'm in the voice chat before lock, making my pool, and we're just hanging out in the summer days anyway. So looking to get a little extra bang for your buck, or looking to join another community, that's there. Cool. Also, one of the things I did get on this server is I boosted it to where we could play poker games. So if anybody ever wants, if you're a Viper, you want to play some poker, we can do some poker games and watch some baseball after lock someday. Me and Raj were messing with it the other day. It's kind of cheesy, but it's kind of fun at the same time. Snow is a vibe. I like Snow. JYD and Ernie, the big cat, Ernie Ladd. All right, bomb detector. Let's zoom in on that a little bit. Couple of broken numbers because of 8.1 innings of sample size for Mr. Eichhoff, so we kind of ignore that. But looking at the sample size, guys, Buxton for the second day in a row at the top of the bomb detector. Goldie's up there against the lefty. Trevor Story's up there against the lefty. Arenado, Mike Trout against the lefty. Some fun names to go out there and get, but I would definitely not go crazy with the Cubs being up here like this, because it is based off of 8.1 innings of sample size. With that said, though, Eichhoff was getting smoked in the minors by lefties, right? Didn't we say he had, was it 8 and 20 something innings? I'll double check. If the Carolinas had legal sports betting, it would be the perfect place to live. Cost of living is pretty low. Life isn't too stressful here. Man, that sounds cool. And you guys aren't far from the beach, right? I wouldn't mind living near the beach. 21 innings against lefties. Two homers. Oh, against righties. No, it wasn't either. Okay. But he has elevated home run rate, so keep that in mind. You're on Twitter, twitter.com/Gundacker. Hit me with that young follow. We're at over 3,200. That's cool. If you're out there lurking and you aren't subbed to the channel, hit that sub button, man. We're trying to get the AK. Can we get the AK before NFL? Maybe, maybe not, but we'll see. We'll try. And then the free Discord still pumping 24/7. I mean, these guys are out here grinding. So I guess we need to do, I don't know. I guess I didn't walk away with as many props as I was hoping to, and I guess I will kind of double down, look a little bit later. But this has been a pretty rough slate, and they didn't give us Buxton in the home run triangle either, so that's annoying. That's annoying. You can get action on Trout if you wanted it. And then if we did get that Orioles game to crank up, we probably would like the Orioles and Nats over either 1.5 hits first inning or runs. But I do like the Montgomery over 17.5 outs. So I think I'm going to upgrade that and make that join Kirby over 4.5 Ks. And then we'll build on that from there, you know? Close to the beach and the mountains, man. Best of both worlds. That's what's up. All right. Well, hey, chat. I guess that's it. What do we got tomorrow? Is Thursday gonna be crazy? We might not stream tomorrow. I don't think we're gonna stream tomorrow, chat. Looks like there's gonna be a bunch of games and perhaps only 3 games on a main slate. So that's going to be hard to cover. So with that said, I guess I'll see you boys and girls on Friday. Or if you want to hang out on Twitch tonight, I'm sure I'll be on Twitch. So that's that. All right, that's it, boys. I appreciate your time. Appreciate you making part of my day be part of your day. I hope you guys crush it tonight. If you got anything else for me, twitter.com/Gundacker, or just hit me up in the free Discord, tag me. I'll be there for you. Mr. Monte, I appreciate the sub. A. Dean showing up late as usual. Shaking my head. Man, hey, tell somebody out there you love them. I love you. Good luck. God bless. Go win some money.